Hi guys, it's me Karen, and I'm going to do part 3 of the coloring of this page. And today I'm going to work on the tentacle that comes up and maybe a couple of the little tiny critters. And if I can get to it during the time, I will also do the background part, but it all depends on how long this particular video is. Now I've decided that the tentacle that's coming up is going to be on the pink side. I could do brown, but I don't know, it sounded boring to me. So I am going to go ahead and do it in pink with the distressed ink. So it's going to be this bright one here called Pick Raspberries. And I've noticed a couple of people have asked questions about the distressed inks. Number one, the little blocks like this, they come in a set of 4, and this is the set. Now, I buy the little sets at either Hobby Lobby, Michael's, or Joann's, and either one of those I use a coupon to buy these with. And it ranges between a 30 to 40% off coupon, so they don't get too expensive. These little teeny blocks last a long time. You don't have to re-ink them very often, depending on your use. I've used these little blocks in all 3 of these books, and they still have a lot of ink left in them, but as you tell, I don't use that much. I'll show you what the inkers look like. Now I buy the re-inkers on eBay because I can find every color that they have. They come with a little eyedropper, so you just squeeze the top and then you just drop them on the pad that's in here and let it sit for a while before you use it because it will be full of ink. This is a more concentrated than when you just use the ink pad. You can also use this re-inker as putting drops on the paper, running them down, spritzing it with water, and getting a nice drip effect. There's a lot of things you can do with these. When I had mentioned you can use the distress ink as a water-based, like watercolors, what you do is if you notice on my desk, this is glass. And all I do, and I'll show you on a piece of paper, is I'll take the ink pad and I will rub it. And you can see a little ink there. I will take a paintbrush and a little water, and I'll spritz some water here. Get your paintbrush wet, dip it in the ink here, and then you can use it like a paintbrush. You can add more water and it'll do just like watercolors, and it'll smear out. So you can paint it, your picture, like that. When I mentioned that they are water-based, when you have, say, these that I did yesterday, spritz a little water on them, like that. Count to, I don't know, 5. So 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. You will notice a difference in the ink. You just tap it off, and you'll get a removal of ink where the water was. This is a really cool effect when you're doing a background. And that was the one with the dragon that I showed you before. So it takes up, kind of looking like the, when you splatter white paint on, the same effect, but you don't get the white paint that sticks up. So those are a little hint of what you can do with that. I'm just going to be using it as a background right now. when I do, sorry, I'm using it as a foreground, a layment on the picture. When I do the background, I'll show you some kind of technique with that. Right now I'm going to use the little pink guy, and I'm just going to go around the edges on here. The Tim Holtz. By the way, these are Tim Holtz distress inks. He makes them. Pink. And remember, I'm only going to fill up this portion of the little pad here. And then I'm going to use it at an angle like this to smear the ink in. So here we go. Let's make sure it's on camera. Ink just the corner. And then lay it down. Get a little pink in there. And like I said, I don't care if it gets into anything else here, just because I can correct that with something else. So we'll get a little more in here. There we go. Now you'll notice I did go out of the lines a lot. That does not bother me. Okay, then we have to find a pink pencil that will help blend with that. This is the Scholar Prismacolor Neon Pink, and that's 438. I also want to get a lighter pink and a darker for shading. So that's a darker piece. This is going to be Process Red and 994. If you ever are worried about the colors matching, you just put some ink on a piece of paper here and give yourself a, that blends in really nice. And if this is going to be a highlight, that works really well. And then I like to put in something that's going to stand out a little bit more. I'm not sure about that one. That one's nice. Okay. So the third color I'm going to use, oh, no, that's the same color as this one. Yep, gotta find a different color. I have multiple sets, so I just stuck it in there. And I've got a really pretty pink, so hold on. Okay, last color here is going to be Mulberry 995. Or, yes, and I have to keep going. Black Cherry is a nice one. So we'll figure out between those. More coloring. But we first go with the light color. And I'll just lay this down. In different areas. Doesn't really make any sense where I put my colors down, because I'll go over it a lot. Like I said, I'm not going to worry about the bubbles. I'll put those back in at a later time. Okay, and I want to go in with a little bit darker color. And get some shading going. It's a light touch with the pencil. Make it darker, add more shading. There's a lot of little bubbles in here. I'm not sure if I'm going to highlight those or just go over them. It all depends on how I feel about them when I get a little closer. Another color. Sorry if I'm not talking, but I'm not used to talking to myself while I color. Not something I usually do. And this is really pink, but that's okay. I can always darken it up with a different color if I like. Put that down here. This is the black cherry. That's a nice shading down here. Move that just a bit closer down here. Hopefully it's still in the camera. Shadow under the wing. I'll put a little lighter pink up here. I have to figure out what color I want to color the little fishy, little flying fish. And I was still thinking about what I should do the background in. Kind of going in the line of bubbles or a rainbow or something. But I gotta watch it when I start thinking about things like that, because then I forget what I'm doing. My brain just keeps going in different directions. If I do it in a rainbow, then I can get rid of the pinks and oranges. I could do it in rainbow bubbles. Might look good. Or, like I said the other day, I could do it with like a sun down here. I could put a line and make a little island and have the sun rays going that way. Another fun thing about coloring, you can do anything you want with it. throw some purple in there too. Don't know. Right now I'm going to take my trusty little, bring up some places that I didn't like it too dark. Don't ask me where I got this. This is my daughter's. Probably got this at San Reno or the Daisos or something. Just get a little highlight there. Okay, that's as much as I'm going to do with that for right now until I decide whether I want to do it in a darker purple or pink. And we're going to attempt to get some of these little critters. Stingrays coming out of his tail. Probably should be gray. Just saying. These guys might school of fish, I don't know. Blues or something. Got a little seahorse, and we do have some what look like clouds or spray of water. Sure. And jellyfish. The flying fish, we've got 2 plus the little dude that's down on the bottom of the page, and then I have a little ghosty. I know I have a shell here, and this is waves dripping over turtle. So I think I'll go with the turtle. He's probably my easiest bet. He's going to be a kind of a green colors. So we'll start with a green on his back. This particular color is a neon green. It's a Scholar, and it's 439. We'll put it in the lightest areas. Now I have a black gel pen I use for the eyes on anything that has eyes. So I'll put the gel pen in, and then I'll add a little white dot. So coloring over those eyes does not affect the picture. We'll go with a darker green, and this one is olive green 911. And hopefully I'm in focus here. I'll go around the edges. And a light touch. You're going to need the dots, the lighter color. And get his little feet just on the tips. And his little tail. Nose and chin. Okay, we'll find another. This one's kelp green 1090. Give him a little rub. I do that a lot. It blends the colors in a little bit. Then I will find a light pen I was using before. The neon green, and then just blend the colors in. I can bring this camera down a little so you can see a little better. And I will get one more darker green. Oh, moss green, and I need to sharpen it. The sharpener I'm using is Faber Castell sharpener. Sharpens the points really nice. I'll just add some dark colors in here. There we go. It took forever for a turtle. And such a small little turtle he is. Alright. Eraser schnubbles. Now, what I can show you, as long as I don't mess with his eyeball when I do this, it's just a, this is a glaze black pen, secure, and I just dot the eye. And then when that dries, I'll come in with the white one that I have. This one's a white jelly roll. And I'll put a little highlight in his eye. But he's got to dry first, so we'll just wait for that to happen. Now I have, now I'm trying to figure out, is this a tooth or a shell? And it kind of looks more like a tooth, like a shark tooth or something. No sharks on the page, but I mean, you know, shark tooth. That would be more in the white, gray colors. So we'll take a white pencil, and it's 938. And I'll just run some white in here, just blurring a little bit of the gray that I had up here into the tooth, or whatever this is, but I'm going to make it a tooth, so tooth it shall be. Then I need a gray, not a blue. I think I have one sitting on the side over here, so I'm looking through them. Yes, I have the cool gray that I used before, 1067. And I'll just add it in here. Very light touch on that. And that will work there. I can add a tiny bit of blue in it. Just to brighten it up a little. Also kind of blend it into the tail. So that be that piece. The stingray up here at the top. I'll take the same gray that I was just using. That I set over here in the pile of stuff and can't find. That's black. I don't want to use black. Okay, where'd it go? Indigo blue. The gray. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and sharpen it. So I already did a part 2 of this, and I'll leave that in the link down below. When I was coloring it, I sped up the coloring when I was doing the waves, and I left it without any music. Figured if you were watching and wanted to watch your own TV show in the background or something, that would be better. Let me know if you would prefer to have music on while it's playing, because I can stick some kind of music in there. And if you do want music, tell me what type you like to listen to. I'm going to be doing these kind of drawings. Just go around in circles here to tie it in. I'll bring up some of these waves, because it looks like he's supposed to be part of the tail piece anyway. So I'm just going very lightly around the edges down on the bottom, up where the shading is, in circular motions, just because they're circular. And some highlights here and there. And get little tiny eyes, but they're supposed to be on their bellies. Okay. A little darker here. That's all I'm doing is pressing harder. It's a pretty dark pencil. And then we have the little fishies over here too. Might get some lighter gray for this little guy. And I have a couple of fairies up here too. I gotta get those. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is put this back into fast motion on this, and then I can finish coloring these little guys, and you can watch. Okay, I'm not sure if my camera came out, but what I did was I went ahead and colored the little fairy guys, the jelly, the belly of this guy, the shell of this guy, and this little guy down here, all in the neon, I believe it was neon green, as a base bottom color. I don't have neon green, I've got yellow in ink, but I mean, that's kind of hard to ink, so I did that, and then I added a little bit of blue on the wings, tiny bit on the belly, a little bit here and there on these, I'm going to go in and use the indigo blue, and that is 901, and darken just the shaded areas in some of these. Kind of like to have a unity of color up here that isn't going to be like in the background. So depending on what I do in the background, these should still stand out. So I'll just go ahead and do that. And sorry you didn't see the coloring on the other parts. So we'll just darken these up. I'm going to give him little pink cheeks. I haven't decided. And these will probably get some more color. I'm not exactly sure what color jellyfish are. I know they're kind of clear, but pink in this seahorse up here. It's going to be a very bright little fish. Seahorse, I guess, is, I don't know, are they fish? You'll have to let me know if they're fish. I'm not sure. They're aquatic. Just don't know if they're fish. Okay, violet 932 is going to go on him to shade. Tone down the pink a little bit. And I'm going to put a little purple in here too. Put some sparkles on these guys. They kind of look like they need to have some sparkle to them. I'll use some, either some Stickles or Wink of Stella, which is a kind of like a pen. You squeeze the barrel of the pen and the sparkles come out of that with some, I'm going to say ink, but it's not. It's more like a glue, but it's real thin, so you can use it like a pen. You buy it at the craft stores or online. It just adds glitter. It doesn't photo very well, but adds a lot of glitter to your page so you can see it. I use that a lot on cards when I make cards. Okay. Now, kind of like the alien fairy guys. Without too much color on them. They're unique. A little purple though. Their wings will stand out a little more. Okay. I need a little purple in here too. Reflecting. And I can add some in here. Just kind of outline the circles. See how that looks. If I like it, if I don't, I will erase it. Okay, let's see. I've got to figure out what color to do these fishies in over here. And then I've got two of these little fishies, and then finish off these guys. I will be doing the background before I color in the water splashes up here in the foam, because if I need to go over it with the Posco pen, I will do that. And I still haven't figured out how I want to do the background yet. That'll come later. Add some more of these up here. I rub it with my finger just to blend, if it just gives it a little softer look. Okay. Okay, before I get too much farther, I was going to show you what a Wink of Stella pen looks like. It's this. And up in here is the glitter stuff, and down here is the brush. And what you do is you open it. Hope I can get it open without getting it all over myself, which I just did. It has the liquid up in here, and then you just squeeze it down, and then if you see the brush, because it is a brush tip, it's got all the glitter on it. And what I was going to do is, and I will show you what it looks like, is I'm going to add it to this little jellyfish here. And as I said before, it's not easy to get on camera. So I'm just going to add it in spots, and then before it dries, hopefully I can get you to see that. I don't know. So I'll hold it up as close to the camera as I can. And I don't know if it'll show. But it gives a little sparkle to it. I don't know if you can see that, but that's what it does. And it's on my finger too, if you see on the finger. And that's what it does to the paper. Anyway, so you can see it in person. It does not photo well at all, which is one of the downfalls of that. I'm sure you all have gel pens or something that have glitter in them also, and that'll actually show up a little better, but it gives it a nice subtle look. And I'm going to do that on the jelly fishies. I've decided kind of on the background, and what I'm going to do before I start coloring like these little guys up here and doing the Posca pen on the water droplets and that is I'm going to go ahead and put the background in. And it's going to be done with the inks, the same colors that I used in here. So it'll blend out any of the excess pieces that you see. And I am going to do it in the same kind of background that I did the peacock with, if I can find the peacock picture. So in the background here. So I'm going to do a base of all these little bubbly things, and then I'll, because I'm doing it all in Distress ink, I'll put some water on it and get some of these effects, and then I'll also use white paint and get that effect. When I do the white splattering though, I'm gonna have to try really hard not to get it all over my desk because it goes all over. So what we'll do first is we'll start with the yellow in the squeezed lemonade, which is this one, and I have both. I should have both. I gotta find them. Hold on. Okay, I have the little cutout I have. It's got two sizes, and then the piece that I took out is going to be the white reflected part. And I'm going to want to put it someplace here because I haven't colored this little guy in. So if we do a white around him somewhere, connected to a couple of places, then when I put this down, I won't fill him up with ink. I'm thinking more over here. Then you just take the, let me get the sheet out. Just a place here. Cover up this side of the paper on the other side here. And I always pounce it into the ink and then pass it off once on the paper. And then I'll just go in very lightly again at the same kind of angle I was doing it before. Very light touch. You'll see a little of the yellow on the paper, not much. That's not what I'm going for. And then when I remove this, you'll see that there's a white behind it. And we'll do that in a couple spots with this color. I can go a little darker on that side, and then you'll have that one. And we'll do one over here. We'll get one there, and we'll do one up here. Kind of rub it into the places that I had a little yellow there. And I'll be putting a little yellow there. So I work in kind of a set of odd numbers. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I need a fifth one. I have one here, two here, one up here. So I should either have one here or down on this side. And since I don't have anything up here, I will stick it way up here. Maybe even off the page. That'll look good. Ring it up. Go around the little fishy pile over here that I haven't colored in yet. And there I have one at the top. Now we've got the yellow in. We'll go back to it, but we're going to change colors. And since we have yellow, orange, pink, blue, we're going to keep that in our little set. this yellow isn't quite as bright as this one, so that's why I didn't use that one in the set. But we have the orange, the blue, and wherever I put the pink one. And those are the colors I'm going to use. So we will get the blue. I have the blue one for that one. We'll get an orange for that one, and the pink for that one. So we will go in with the orange next. And we're still going to be doing the negative parts. And then I will get into doing the darker circles. So orange can go right about there. And then maybe a half a one up here. And then about one over here. Boom. I don't mind it got in here at all. Okay, so we have the orange, the orange, and the orange. That'll be good for right now. We'll do a blue one. Blue one over here. Get that one a little darker. There we go. A blue one. Oh, how about over here? And then one up here somewhere. How about right above? What about, I don't want to get the guy. So we'll go up here on the top. There. All right, so we have 3 blues. Then I got to get a pink one in there. Now, like I said, it's easy to fix your little problems with this kind of background because you're going to go over it with the ink. But I think I'll do a dark pink spot there, so we can do a little one down here. And when you blend these 2 inks in together, it makes a really pretty color. Purple. So one there. We'll do one over here. Just go off the paper on this side. Boom. Got too much ink on this, so I'll just try to blend that out a little bit. There we go. And then one over here. Cover that up. I don't know if you can see that. There, that goes off the page. Okay, now we want to have some of the darker colors. So we'll take this little dot, some tape on that for some reason, and where this is pink, we'll just fill in the pink and make a nice little dot. And we'll put one, say, over here. And one over here somewhere. So right about there. Okay, then we're going to want a couple of the other colors. This is all just random. since I have pink all over this cut here, I'm going to use one of these other ones so it doesn't turn into a muddy color. I just got to figure out where I want to put it. I'll put one here. And one over here somewhere. And one, oh, how about one down here? See how that looks. There we go. Maybe one more up here. And then if you get any in here that you don't want, you can always just blend it in. And let's see. There are different sizes too, so I can make a bigger circle. And we'll attach it here. I just put a little more ink on the bottom and it kind of gives it that shaded look. So we'll do one there, do one over here, back here. And then one, I've got a little one up there, so we'll get a different color. Blue one. This is all your preference, whatever you want to do. I'm going to turn it over because I just did the yellow there. So let's give us a nice, see I got a line here. So I'll do a little blue dot there. Kind of move the line a little bit. And do one up here. And one over here. And one up here. Got a lot of little dots. And do one up here too. And we got fishies, tentacles. And one down here somewhere. Okay, maybe one more up here. Getting carried away, I know it. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. It's colorful. That's what I was going for. Now these areas that are kind of white, we want to get them a different color, so I'm just going to go in with just the plain ink and give it a little coloring. This is very light. I'm trying to avoid the green guys, but that's okay to go over the orange guys because I used the orange ink on them in the beginning. So just adding a little color, very little color by the way, but it shows up nicely. Okay. And see what these little guys here that have the overage, all I'm doing is putting some color around them. Okay, then I'm going to put a little pink up here at the top. Hopefully this will turn out okay. If it doesn't, oh well. That's my thought. So this little pink over here, and we'll just run it across. Pull it down to this little guy where I made a mess here. I'm going to run some over here on this side. I should put a piece of paper behind there. Don't put it onto everything. I'm going to make a darker corner and bring the pink down to this pink. Okay, let's see if I put in a little more pink up here. Pink, 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 pink. Okay. Now what we're going to do, put the inks away. Keeping this paper here so I don't get to the other page, I'm going to splatter a little bit of water on here. This is a Tim Holtz distress sprayer. What it does is it sprinkles a little bit of water down in kind of globs. It's not like a spray that just sprays all over. So you just want to take a little pressure on the nozzle and just give it a little spray, and then you count again to the amount, or when you see it coming up, and then you just dry it off. You're not going to see the effect right away because it has to dry. It's wet paper. The only thing about this is it will crinkle your paper up because you put water on it. I don't mind that because I like the sound of paper when it crinkles, but that's me. You could also, say, spritz your hand here and spray it down like that. And that gives you a little more control. Do the counting again, and then just wipe it up. Let it dry, and then when it dries, I'm going to sprinkle the white all over it. Then I will come back and I will color in the fish and correct any imperfections that I don't like. Say like this little bit of orange here. I'll either bring the orange down into the tail, or I will put Posco on that and get rid of it. And I'll show you it when it's all dry. Okay, it is dried, and I'm gonna try to show you, see how it's lightened up in areas and given this that kind of effect, and that's something I really like. Now the white paint that I splatter on here is just your folk art acrylic paint in wicker white. And I just put a little on my glass tabletop with a little water until it's thin enough, and then I splatter it with a paintbrush. Since the camera is right up here, I don't want to splatter it, but I can show you a little of what I do. I'm going to try it this time with a old toothbrush. I've never done it before, so hey, we're going to do this together. So I just take a little of this, and I can't exactly show you where I'm going to put it, but I raise the camera up a little. Let's see, maybe you can see it better. If I pull this down, I'm just going to put it on the table itself. A little bit like that. And then I'm going to add water to thin it down a little bit. I'm going to try it with the paintbrush. We're going to see how this works. So you just get it on the paintbrush. I'm going to try it on a blank piece of paper because I'm not sure how this works. So this would flick it. Get little spots, so that's what I'm after. Alright. I don't mind the spots going over because, I mean, that's what it's supposed to do. So we're going to flick it like that, getting the little water like a splash is what I'm after. I'm getting more of this on my finger than I'm getting on this thing, but that's okay. It's a nice little effect. If I add a little more water to this. Pretty cool on the splashing effect over here. Anyway, that's good enough. Then I can always go in with a Posco pen and make it a little bit brighter or bigger. I'm going to go ahead and get my little paintbrush, and I'm going to add some bigger dots here, I think, because that's what I'm used to. And I'm going to try not to get the phone. So I'll put a little more paint down. And this is just a paintbrush with a fluffy tail on it. And then I just tap it on my finger. See how the splotches are a little bit bigger. But this does tend to get all over the desk. Some big dots. There. That'll do it. Then I will finish coloring up these little guys, but this is going to dry first. Okay, so we're dry. And the white, I don't know if you can see it real good, but I mean the white is dry. I love how it did this effect down here with the toothbrush. I still have little fishies to do, so I will go ahead and color those in. And since we're now 3 of those little guys, I can do them in either a blue or a purple, kind of mix it. And then these little guys here, and then all the little stars. And then put white Posco into all the droopings and stuff that is going on here. So I think I will leave that for another video. Thanks for watching, guys.